Hello, this is Virtual Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. Yesterday, after a long clinic day, I played an inaccurate but super fun game of the Vienna Main Line. So far, at the beginner intermediate level, I don't get to play the main line very often. In fact, when I explored my games on chess.com at the time of this video, only 3.5% of the time when I play the Vienna do we end up in the main line. Interesting. So I have to admit that I don't have much theoretical knowledge of the position. With being a bit tired, inaccuracies, mistakes and blunders on both sides led to this great match. Please enjoy! All right, let's start have a look at the review. And as per the sort of the title screen, quite an inaccurate game. So 63%, 50%. We each had sort of a nice mix of inaccuracies, mistakes, and some blunders as well. And if we look at sort of the chart, so it goes up and down. Each of us had so many opportunities, and the chess.com bot wild, a chaotic game. Let's now have a look at the analysis. I played with white, e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, and now f4. So that's the Vienna game, the Vienna gambit. And the main line is entered with d5, which is pretty much the only good response to the Vienna gambit. Now, I don't know the theory to the main line actually all that much because I don't actually get to play it very often. But I do know you have to pretty much immediately start to capture in the center. You have to sort of break the tension. And here, knight f3, you don't want that sort of coming necessarily with check. Commonly here now, the opponent will capture, and then the question is which pawn you capture back. I often capture with the b pawn. Here, yeah, Stockfish reckon the other one's better, but sort of the idea here is that the rook can now go onto the semi-open b file. Opponent plays knight c6. I now push d4, and so one of the other reasons to capture with the b pawn is that you can get this nice strong center. And so I thought that looked okay for me, and I suppose the opponent would have to play very accurately according to the computer to maintain their advantage here. Plus 0.5, so not too bad, not too bad. Opponent plays bishop g4. I sort of ask whether or not they're going to capture. They retreat. Here I wasn't sure, should I do that or not? I wasn't sure. I played sort of rook b1. They, of course, immediately now push forward their b pawn. Don't want to lose that pawn. I thought that maybe bishop b5 would be okay. Whoops, what did I do? Yep, pinning the knight to the king. But, you could see, so Stockfish thought immediately threatening that bishop would have been good. Here I short castles, and one of the reasons I didn't necessarily want to push was that I was intending to short castle. Opponent now plays bishop e7, which apparently was a mistake. I have to say, not obviously so to me. But this is the move that I kept. Well, basically, I just didn't see. I really didn't exactly see why that was going to be good. Now here I played queen d3, giving an extra defender to that bishop. Apparently that was a blunder, and I lose almost all my advantage here. And I didn't recognize, I suppose, that they did have this attack, but that move actually, gave some advantage back to me. So this is sort of a hard to make sort of decisions according to Stockfish, according to what are the best moves. I play queen e2, moving it out of the way. They short castle. And here, I thought that was potentially going to be good for me. And here I move back again. Apparently that was a really powerful move. Now, queen to e6. Here, because the pin has lost, I thought that I might as well just do the balanced trade, but that wasn't a good transformation for me, as you can see. Here, I thought that I would potentially sacrifice it, that maybe there was something here that I could do. Moved knight to f4 with an attack on the bishop. They move to that position. Here I move sort of queen g4. They captured. And here I thought I had potentially a reasonable sort of attack. Obviously, the idea here is a potential mate in one, so forced, so captured back. I thought this was still okay for me, but apparently it was terrible for me, so -4. Yeah, very interesting position. Now, opponent now plays rook f8, which practically completely equalizes the position. I thought here that I had a move here, but again, absolutely terrible. I thought the capture here was actually good for me, but apparently not. So now push, and now it's good for me again. And I thought and here I was a little bit too focused, and I thought I had check. Of course, this would have done the same thing and would have picked up a free piece. And the challenge I had here now was that I couldn't quite work out how I could make this work. I thought surely there is some way I could force a trade of a rook for the pawn, with the pawn all the way on the seventh rank. But I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see how to make it work. And eventually, I think I sort of make a mistake. That was a blunder here. Because that comes with check. Now I lose that pawn, captures. I suppose black is still a bit ahead because they've got the extra pawn, but still not lost yet for me. So I felt I had to sort of bring my queen back for the sake of defense here. Opponent now brings rook d8. I push the pawn forward. There we are. They play queen e5, rook d1. So now we've sort of two defenders. Now I expected the opponent here to either move their queen or to move their rook. So I was actually quite surprised that they captured because, did they miscount? Because capture back, they can't capture. I don't think they have anything. So captured with check, but defended. And I was pretty sure that this was going to be a mistake for my opponent. So I thought they were probably going to be greedy. But now, never too late to hang back rank mate. Well, this isn't quite the back rank. Yep, forced here though now. It's all covered, pretty much forced to block. But now I've got this, now the pawns hem in the king in their castle. The king is stuck in their castle, queen forced, and then effectively like a ladder mate. So good game with the opponent, GG. I was very lucky at the end when my opponent possibly miscounted or perhaps thought they had a move with check and thus lost their rook. They spent only 11 seconds on that move. I've done this sort of error many times before, and the insight perhaps is to be careful with getting tunnel vision and too fixed on a tactic and missing how the board has evolved. I hope you found this video interesting, and thanks for watching.